So, how many of you were at this Mass 1 year ago today? So, you remember that 1 year ago today, as you came to church, we had a shameless ploy of the pastor. I had a gentleman appearing to be indigent sitting in front of the church with his well-used Tim Hortons cup asking for money. Do you remember that? And that young man landed up being one of our seminarians. And it was a little test, I suppose, for us all to see how we were going to receive him. And gratefully, we all received him so well. He received so many invitations even to join families for dinner. It was really wonderful. And this Thanksgiving, there are no gimmicks. So don't worry, there is no shameless ploy. But we'll just focus on the gospel directly. And we hear the same gospel year after year on Thanksgiving Day. There's choices for the readings, but this gospel is really one of the favorites. And if you really think for a moment, we could probably place ourselves in the different individuals present in that reading. I know as I reflect on my own life at times, I felt like I have been like Jesus in that gospel, where I know that I've done something to assist a group of people, and after a while I kind of scratch my head and I say, didn't I help an awful lot and only one or two showed up to say thank you? How many of you have ever been down that road? Been down that road, I think all of us, where we've really helped others and we kind of shake our head and say, gee, couldn't someone stop and say thank you, at least more than one or two? Similarly, the other side of the coin, I've been on that side of the gospel too. Sometimes, probably all too often, I've been one of the 9 where somebody has done some great service for me and I failed to properly stop and go back and give thanks. And it's those moments that I hear my mother speaking to me from above saying, I taught you better than this, huh? And I guess if we were honest, all of us would say, yeah, at one point in time, maybe multiple times, we've been that person. And I'm going to guess for all of us, myself included, times maybe we've been that one individual, the Samaritan who returned to give praise and to give thanks. Today, Thanksgiving Day, not only as a nation, but especially for all of us of faith, we stop to really desire to be that one person. We desire to be that one individual who really takes time to go out of our way to say thank you. It's really a substantial part of the meaning of today. And today, in a very real way, I'd like to be that person to stop and say thank you. And as I sat in the chapel last night, accumulating this list and checking it twice, I also heard my mother speak to me from above and say, be very careful anytime you name names, it's really difficult. But I assembled a little bit of a list, perhaps, of individuals in our midst, and in many senses, all of us, the things that sometimes go overlooked, to say a word of thanks. And so I'd like to offer a few words of thanks this morning, to be that one, maybe seeing some of the things the rest of us take for granted or maybe don't even acknowledge that exists. And if I name a few by name and I don't name everyone by name, please forgive me, because if I did that, we'd be here past Christmas. You'd miss Thanksgiving, you'd miss Black Friday, and we'd probably miss Christmas as well, because there's so much to be thankful for, especially here at St. Greg's. Short list. Short by my standards, but Father Tom threatened to unplug me at some point if I go on too long. I want to thank young Joe McGacken. He's running at the turkey trot right now, so he doesn't know I'm thanking him. But how many of you have gone to look at the Stations of the Cross outside and pray there? Now, as one of our seniors, he's at Canisius High School, graduate of our school, part of Troop 440 here at St. Greg's for the Scouts. He put in the Stations of the Cross. And what a prayerful labor of love that was. And let me tell you, I keep teasing him, he could go into business because it is a professional job. And the number of people who've already stopped me to thank me for them being there. Really, Joe McGackin is the one to be thanked. I thank Joe McGackin for providing that for our parish family, for all those who really come to the hospital and wander over to our outdoor grotto to pray. Thank him. Similarly, I want to thank Warren Arno, another one of our parishioners, young parishioners, scout, who put in much-needed shelving in the basement of the rectory. All of you have probably heard me talk about all those boxes I moved here. You know, they needed shelves. And for his Eagle Scout project, organized the guys from 440 to build that for us, for all of the priests, and other items for the parish to be properly stored. I thank him. I thank the more than 300 people who came the first Sunday of October for Life Chain from our parish. We had over 300 people come from St. Greg's on Niagara Falls Boulevard. We heard in the first reading today about the Lord knowing us from the moment that we were in our mother's womb. And I thank those more than 300 from our parish who were there to stand for the dignity, the respect of human life. I want to thank the ladies who cleaned the Adoration Chapel. You know, there's this small crew, a number of them are the ladies of the Lord, but you know, all of them may not be part of that group as well, but they take such beautiful care to make sure that our Adoration Chapel is always so presentable. I thank them. I want to thank our daily Mass crew. That's what I call the people who come to 7, 8, and noon every day of the week. You know, every week of the year. I call them the daily Mass crew. I know it was the daily Mass crew at my home parish of Assumption that prayed me into the seminary and prayed me into the priesthood. And I know it's the daily Mass crew who definitely, their intense prayers affect so many facets of our parish. I thank all of those who come, if it even just one day or every day during the week, to pray for our parish and pray for one another. Those who serve as sacristans, lectors, Eucharistic ministers at those Masses in particular. I want to thank the countless number, and I don't know that I could count the number of individuals who take communion from our parish to those who are homebound. You know, it happens almost daily around here. I thank you for that great presence and service that you give to the people of St. Gregory the Great. Those who go to the hospital next door pretty much daily from St. Greg's to take communion, and to some of the nursing facilities to run communion services, to pray the rosary with our brothers and sisters, not only of our parish, but all of our brother and sister Catholics who are in these facilities in our area. I thank you for what you do. I thank all those who take care of your loved ones at home. I will not single this gentleman out. He's here in church right now. He will know that I'm speaking of him. But in our midst, right in this church right now, we have a man who, for 18 years, took care of his wife every single day as she laid literally in a coma state in their living room in a hospital bed. And for 18 years, he faithfully lived his vows of marriage, caring for his beautiful wife, who passed away not that long ago. I thank you for that beautiful example of marriage and care. He's here with us right now. I thank all of the parishioners of St. Greg's for all of the sacrifices you make of your time, your talent, your treasure, especially those who give so much of their time to the many committees and programs and projects and ministries here at St. Greg's. And I thank all who sacrifice financially to afford all of what we have. You know, Monsignor Wright, who I was very close with, always used to say, you know, we're not so much St. Gregory the Great, we're St. Gregory the Many. And he said we accomplish everything we do because there's a lot of us. And he was always right. You know, Monsignor Rupert Wright was always right. His whole life he was right. And sometimes those on the outside of our parish think, well, out there St. Greg's, they're all rich people. We're not. Many very normal, hardworking people, the backbone of America right here in our parish, and many of you sacrifice from your own need for our parish, and I thank you for all those sacrifices that you give. And in many senses, our parish is no different than the others, that often it's the widow's mite that drives all of what we do. I thank you for that. I want to thank Deacon Sam Giangreco and Rich Pantano, both of our parish in formation for the priesthood, Paul Seigan, who is assigned to our parish in formation to the priesthood. Thank Sister Maria Christie Delaney and her continuing formation in religious life, and Jerry Hodson, Paul Walter, Bob Warner, and their diaconate formation. I believe they're all present with us at Mass right now. Thank Kate Hahn, who's present with us at Mass right now, who has definitely created a buzz in our parish as to what does it mean to be a consecrated virgin. And we're going to learn more about that, and I thank all of you for your beautiful vocations. Thank all those who will marry this year or have been married this year, and all who are married. I thank you for the beautiful witness of your vocation, of Christ's love and sacrifice in the world today. And I thank our countless single people and your commitment, your desire. There's so many here at St. Greg's. Many of our single people are here at daily Mass, who you can just see are faithfully living that vocation to be generous and chaste in their single way of life. I thank you for that beautiful vocation. I thank all of the adorers in our chapel. We need more to sign up for an hour time slot each and every week. But I thank all of our adorers, rain, nor sleet, nor snow, no matter what day of the week, no matter if it falls on a holiday, boom, they're there. And I thank you for praying for our parish. I thank all of the young people who have really taken the extra step to be part of EDGE, our junior high group, our life team, the high schoolers, all of our candidates for confirmation who've come on retreat, our 8th graders who've been on retreat. I thank you for your openness to faith and your challenging of myself and all who've helped you with these retreats, to make us think and pray and reflect more. And similarly, I thank all of those people. Do you realize out of the overnight retreats, we've had a crew of people give 10 full days to leading these overnight retreats just over the summer and the fall. It's a tremendous gift, and we thank you for that. I want to thank young Michael Brennan. Does anybody know who Michael Brennan is? He's the young 7-year-old in the city who wanted to help the city mission and put it out on social media that they needed pies, and he collected 221 pies. I think that kid is somebody we better watch because he's up and climbing at age 7. Not too shabby, let me tell you. Beautiful job. We thank young Michael Brennan. I want to thank the St. Vincent de Paul Society. They are here, and the collection today at Mass goes to their work. You never hear about the St. Vincent de Paul Society, and that's because one of the basic premises is that they operate in silence and quiet. But 365 days a year, they are there to provide food, to provide emergency rent money or money for medications, to collect furniture, to deliver furniture and appliances. They do tremendous work here at St. Greg's and in our name to the larger community of Western New York. And I thank the St. Vincent de Paul Society here at St. Greg's for all that you do in very quiet ways. And thank you for your generosity to them today. It's the only money they get all year is from today's collection. And they make that work all year as they serve. I want to thank the pizza guys. Now, a number of them are here. Wednesday night we have pizza in the cafe. And what a group of guys these are. The pizza guys are a wonderful group of guys. I think it's a ministry and a small club unto itself as they really have bonded so well together. I thank the pizza guys. Most people don't even know they're in there working so hard. I want to thank Nan Fry and Rick Vivacqua for their beautiful service as trustees under the time of Monsignor Wright, Kathy Bean and Tony Spada for their beautiful service as trustees under the time of Father Joe Gatto and in the beginning of my time here at St. Greg's, and Kristen Bauer and Bill Christ, our new trustees. I don't think anybody appreciates the amount of hours per week trustees put in assisting the parish. And in my time, I'm sure it was done prior to my time, but in my time, I particularly want to thank again Rick Vivacqua and Kathy Benson for their tremendous care they gave to Monsignor Rupert Wright. You know, as Monsignor was failing a little in his last period of ministry here, and then in his time at Brothers of Mercy, they were there to take care of him to the day he went from this world to the next. And I know that firsthand because my father was at Brothers of Mercy. And I had dinner every day with my father on one side and Monsignor Wright on the other. So I know the work that they did firsthand, and I thank them for all that they've done to care for a brother priest and pastor of this parish. And I thank one and all who have come to decorate, to bring our breads, to provide our music, all of the things that we see every day, the candles that we light at Mass by the statues, all of these simple things. I thank one and all who do that on a regular basis. And today, I especially want to thank my brother priests and deacons, and to thank all of the parish ministry staff and support staff here at St. Greg's, because you know, the one thing that I've asked any staff I've ever had is, you know, make me look good. That's your only job, you know. And I know myself very well. They've got a lot of work ahead of them to make me look good, and I thank them for all they do. They work so hard, and I see all of what everyone on the staff does, the priests, the deacons, Sister Shawn, our entire lay staff. I thank you. And I want to end by offering a word of thanks to all of you on behalf of Assumption Parish in Black Rock. When I first arrived last year in Lent, and we took the collection on Ash Wednesday, and I was told the money's given to charity, I said, well, you know, where does that go? And they said, well, you pick the charities. It's your job as the pastor. So, you know, I picked a few charities, and one of them was Assumption Church in Black Rock. And you know why? Because it's my home parish, that's why. And it's a poor parish in the inner city. And I got this letter from Father Richard, the pastor, and he said, first of all, after I picked myself up off the floor, I think we sent him $1,000, he said, thank you. And he went on to say, you know, a number of years ago under Monsignor Wright's time, the diocese was twinning parishes in the inner city with parishes in the suburbs, and he said, oddly enough, our parish of Assumption was twinned with St. Gregory the Great. And he said, but unfortunately nothing really ever developed from that. And he said, how thankful I am to the people of St. Greg's. And so finding that out, researching a little bit more about that program, you know, through the diocese in the past year, as we were working on the budget for the coming year, we decided to include money in the current budget to assist our sister parish of Assumption. You know, we expect all of the people of the parish, priests too, we tithe to give back to the Lord, and I think one thing we can do as a parish family is to tithe as the parish family, to assist another parish in need in particular. And so we sent them a check for $25,000 to pay their gas bill. Now this is a parish that their average Sunday collection is $800. So you can imagine about half of their Sunday collection for the year goes just to pay the gas bill on the church. That $25,000 is a half to maybe 2/3 of one of our Sunday collections. And so how thankful they were. And I thought I was going to have to send nitro pills to poor Father Richard when he opened that envelope. But they came to see me last week and dropped off 3 thank you cards to us as a parish. And I'm going to put them up here in front of by the breads. You can take a look at them. We'll have them out. But how profoundly thankful the people of Assumption are to you for that generosity, because they don't know how to make ends meet. And that simple gift from us, half, maybe 2/3 of 1 week's collection, half of their Sunday collection for the year, is going to go so far to assist them as a parish family. In their name, in the name of where I come from, Assumption, many of the old timers there I know so well. We thank you for your goodness, your kindness, your generosity. Today, be that one person. Find somebody you need to thank. Go out of your way to go back and say thank you.